all the search filters you want. So you can just search through a ton of different things. So if you want to create custom lists, you can. Of course, you have some basic information. You got some activity information, interest, and you can customize this by clicking on this column. You can show what information you want to be shown. You can do like mass email, mass text, mass video message. You have more tasks like add tasks, add hashtags, change status. So you can filter out a list and you can do all sorts of things. Delete contacts, add campaigns, print mailing address, add to a lead pawn, things like that. Now, if we jump into the Chime CRM's contact page, it looks a little bit more intimidating at first glance, but it's laid out really, really well once you get to learn it. First off, Chime operates on a pipeline system. So you have all your leads here. You have your new leads, your cold leads, your nurturing leads, your appointment set, your active clients, under contract, close, sphere, other, and then you can have like do not contact, stuff like that. And this is completely customizable. So you can customize your pipeline as well. KVcore also has a pipeline feature. They don't display it right here. If you go into the filters though, you can see it. It's under contact status. So instead of a pipeline, they refer to it as like a contact status or as a timeline or a prospect's journey. And to the best of my knowledge, you can't edit this. This is just the way it is. Whereas Chime, you can completely customize this pipeline and it's up here. So if I wanted to click on, say, just all my active clients, I just want to see all my active clients. I could just see all of them right here. I could see all my clients that are under contract, or I could just see all my leads in general. And again, this is completely customizable. Click this gear icon. You can make all these, you can delete them, you can change names, add new ones. The only ones you can't change are the closed pipeline and the new leads pipeline. And the new leads is always going to be right here next to all leads. On the left side, of course, you have all the filter options you could ever imagine, just a million filter options, just like KVcore. You can kind of have some default filters. So you can kind of like have some like preset filters. So like today's opportunities, just new leads or leads you never contacted. And then up top, we have groups, not to get confused with like the pipelines where a lead has to live in a pipeline. So a lead can only live in one pipeline at a time, whereas groups, a lead can live in multiple different groups. So I can have like my past clients, my homeowners, my top 150, my top 100. You can really put as many leads as you want in any different kind of groups. And again, you can completely customize and make as many groups as you want. And then of course, you can easily add a lead. You do have this feature called partial leads, where say you only get like a little bit of a lead's info, like you door knock on them and you knock on their door, they put in their address on the website for the home valuation, but they don't fill out the rest of their contact information. You can actually search and find the rest of their information. It does cost 30 cents, but you can find their email and their phone number if you do want to do that. It does cost 30 cents per lead. To the best of my knowledge, KVcore does not have that feature. If it does, I can't find it anywhere. All right, now let's go over the lead contact form. This is just a test lead for me. Right here, you got just some basic information about the lead. You can change the pipeline status right here. You could change any groups, add any groups. Again, you can do multiple groups if you want. You have some basic information. You got your tags, you got your mailing address. If you want, you can click here and just edit all this information. You have insights. So if you want to analyze what the lead is doing, you can see their lead score. You can see any website activity they had, their communication, the call connect rate, their email open rate, things like that. Just some in-depth information. You can see what their search criteria is. So the way Chime works is if they're searching on the website, Chime will notice patterns and it will start including some of those patterns. Like, hey, they look at a lot of 3-bedroom houses. They might be interested in that. They look in a lot of 2-bedroom houses, they might, or 2-bedroom houses, they might like that. So it's going to add features for you. And again, of course, if you have the Chime AI following up with your leads, it'll add information here for you. Chime will also have some suggested plans of action, like if you should add certain smart plans, whether you should enable the AI to suggest certain listings to Tommy. Of course, and then you could see everyone that is associated with this lead. So you have you as the agent, you can have your AI assistant, you can have a regular assistant, and then you can have a lender as well. And sorry, you can't see this because my face is in the way. You then, of course, have a full timeline of everything. So you can see all the leads activity, and then you can add, of course, you can add custom notes and then pin those notes to the top. So you just click pin and it adds that note. Of course, you could search through all the different activities. So you can search through the emails, just the text messages, see what his search criteria is, what he's been looking at, properties he's favorited, requests, any system logs. And then here on the left side, this is a really cool feature. You can add appointments. So if you schedule a home tour or you want to go look at their house, you can click this icon and it's going to create a calendar invite and it will send them a text reminder or an email reminder as well as yourself or when they have an appointment. So it's going to put in their calendar, hey, you're going to look at a house on this date, or hey, we're coming over to look at your house on this date. It's a really super cool feature. I really like it a lot. Of course, I have an appointment right here. And then if they request a home tour on your website, it's going to also come up right here and you'll see it. Then of course you have tasks. So you can create tasks inside the smart plan. So it's going to automatically populate tasks for you to do that you create, of course. Or you can manually add tasks as well, and you can create what kind of tasks. Is it all tasks, emo tasks, other tasks, when you want to follow up with them, today, tomorrow, 2 days, 1 week, custom, pick it at a specific time. You can really customize how you want to do tasks. Again, nothing fancy there. We go to engagement. Now, engagement section is kind of like all their property information, so we can send them property alerts. So we can send them any type of property alert we want. All you got to do is click new alert, type in all the criteria that you would like, click next, pick the frequency, if you want to be CC'd, anything like that, and then click save. You can do the same thing with a market snapshot. This just gives them listing information on what listings are going out. So it just sends out really nice little listing emails. And just to show you what the emails look like, they are pretty slick. They're nothing crazy fancy, but they are the nicest emails I've seen so far. And then you can do market reports, which just gives them a nice little market update. And then again, here we could see what their criteria is. So their basic search criteria, So we see what they're looking for. This is the stuff that's permanently saved. And then anything in blue is what the CRM is suggesting you look at. And then of course you can see like their personal property. So if you want to create a CMA, you can, or create a transaction, you can as well. Under smart plans, this is where you're going to add or delete or see any active smart plans. They're like their follow-up plans or their action plans, anything like that. Of course, and then you have their transactions. Now, Chime has a really cool transaction feature. We're not going to go into that really deep, but it's a full transaction management software that can sync with other transaction softwares like SkySlope or Brokermint or any type of transaction software that you use. Of course, then you can upload documents if you like. Now, lastly, before we move on, if we click these 3 dots, you just have a ton of options here. So you can send video, so you can send video text, you can send a mailer, you can add a property alert, you could add a market snapshot, you could add a market report, you can add a smart plan, you could send a welcome email, so it gives them like their login information, tasks, appointments, add a document, send to Microsoft Teams. You can unmute the AI. So let's unmute the AI real quick. And if you want to, you can have the AI just do whatever you want. So it doesn't matter where the lead is. When a lead comes in, if you want, you can have your AI assistant start texting leads and it'll qualify them and set appointments for you. But if the lead's just sitting inside of Chime, you can have it continue qualifying the lead. You could have it attempt to schedule an appointment. You could help the lead with listing suggestions. So it's going to start texting the lead listings based off its search criteria that it thinks it might like. It could schedule a showings with the lead. The lead doesn't have enough information to schedule a showing, so that's not an option. Or you can just let it idle and monitor the lead's behavior. So if the lead takes certain action on the website, it might respond accordingly. Hey, I saw you looked at some listings. We can help set up a tour for you. Let us know if you have any questions. Something like that. And then Chime has a really cool feature. If the AI is kind of like acting up or it's acting weird or you don't like the message it says, you can train the AI by telling Chime what you want it to do in that situation, and the AI will learn what it should be doing in certain situations. But again, you just have a ton of options here. You can create a CMA report, find on Facebook, find on LinkedIn, send postcards, all sorts of stuff. Now let's go ahead and take a look at KVcore real quick. So again, we see the client's journey or the pipeline. Again, as far as I know, you can't really change anything here. You got some basic information right here on the left side. You can add your tags, insights. You can see more info. Not a ton of information. They keep it kind of simple. You got the timeline here, so you can see all the leads activity. And then right here on the right side, you have the client action steps. So you can make a new call. You can add a note, send a text, add a voicemail. You have more actions here, so you can unsubscribe from emails, resubscribes, turn off behavioral alerts. You can sync with contacts. I don't think there's a way to send like a postcard or like a letter manually through here, but you got some more options here that you can play with and use. Of course, then you can add property alerts, add more campaigns, add a market report, add a seller report. It's a lot more simple, a lot more basic, not quite as cluttered as Chime, although Chime does offer a lot more, and I think it does look a little bit cleaner, even though there's a lot going on right here. KVcore does seem to have less stuff in the way, which might be nice for someone who's not quite as familiar with how CRMs work. Now, KVcore has the contingency follow-up service. Now, this is a service, I think they're powered through Versus.io, which used to be Agentology, or it might be their own team. I'm not really sure. Basically, they're going to have real people. You got to pay for it. It's like $500 or something like that a month or something. I can't remember exactly. It's kind of expensive, but real people will text and email and try to get the person on the phone for you and try and qualify that lead for you. Chime integrates with Versus.io, which again used to be Agentology. They do something very similar. I don't have it because it's expensive and I don't really need it, but they do have the Chime AI, which is like $40 a month if you decide to get it, and that will follow up and monitor leads and do basically the same thing, but just through texting, whereas they'll do texting and email. I've used the service in the past, not through KVcore. I've used these human ISA services before. I'm not really impressed. They're about as effective as like an AI, but the AI is like 10 times cheaper. We have profile details. So again, if you just kind of want to edit some more information, you can. Alerts, you can see what property alerts are added. Again, you can add property alerts. I don't have any property alerts set up. Files, so if you want to upload any documents, you got some really basic transaction stuff. We don't have any transactions with this lead, that's fine. And then we have just tasks. So again, pretty simple, pretty basic, not a lot going on here. Not nearly as complex as Chime, but it also does a lot less than what Chime does. All right, now let's review KVcore's smart plans, or their automation, or whatever you want to call it, action plans. I believe KVcore calls it campaigns. Chime calls it smart plans. I think LineDesk calls it campaigns. I think Follow Up Boss calls it action plans. Every CRM calls it different. They're basically drip campaigns or automation. Both of these CRMs are very unique in the sense that they have very advanced smart plan automation, which you can use to really automate a lot of your follow-up. So we'll start off, we'll go through KVcore. Right up top, we can look at our campaigns. We can look at any libraries. So like people can upload or make public their own campaigns. If you want to go to the library and look at those and download them, you can. And then of course you have templates. So when you're creating a smart plan or some sort of follow-up action plan, you have to create the templates first. You can't create them in the action plan. It's a little annoying. It kind of bothers me actually. But you create all your email templates, all your text message templates. If you want to do like a call script, you can. Any task templates, and then webhooks if you know what that is. I'm not going to explain what it is, but if you know what it is, you know. It's a little bit more advanced automation that you have available. But let's just go ahead and create a new campaign for the sake of this video. So first off, you would have your campaign logic. So is this a new lead? Is the lead transferred? Is it a hashtag? Did a specific date occurred? And then you have your triggers. So your triggers can be all sorts of things. The lead did something. They have an email. They have a hashtag. It's a certain lead source. And you can add multiple triggers if you want, or you can add no triggers at all. Or you can say, I don't want this campaign to start with a trigger. I just want to manually start this campaign. So that is something you can do. Then who is this lead for? Is it for buyer, seller, renter, vendor? Kind of confusing, honestly. Then you name the lead. You then review it, test 2. And then you finish. Now that you created the campaign, it's time to go review it. So let's just go ahead and click on one of these campaigns. Now here we have all of our action steps, so you can kind of see what's going to happen. So in 40 minutes, they're going to get their first email. 2 days later, they're going to get their first text. 34 days later, they're going to get a tag added. 35 days later, their status is going to move to cold. So what we can do is we can add whatever we want here. So we can add an email, text, task, whatever we want here. Webhook, a Zapier integration. If you know how to use that, you can remove a tag, anything you want. You can change the status of it. So again, move it down that pipeline, or the client journey, if you will. But let's go ahead and add an email for the sake of this video, and we'll just say second email. I'm gonna spell it bad, that's okay. We then have to select our template. So again, you can't just add and type up an email here. You do have to find a template and add it. I don't personally like that. It is one of my biggest gripes about this CRM, but it's not bad. You can then view the template if you want. Then you could put who is it for, who is it to, and then you can run immediately, or you can select when you want to run it. So we want to run it, let's just say days later, and then we'll select 7 days later, and then we can click add. And again, you can add multiple campaigns if you like, or add multiple smart plans, or add multiple tasks, and really customize and automate this however you want. And then here on the side, you just have some information about the smart plan. Now going over to the Chime CRM smart plan library, it is significantly different. The way their automation works is a lot different. First up, you have My Smart Plans. You can do your team smart plans. So if you're on a team, you can see those. And then you got a library, so you can kind of search through a bunch of pre-made smart plans already built, whether they're built for the AI or certain scenarios or certain automation. You can check those out. They do have those. There's a lot of good ones there, but I honestly like to make my own. And then you have this giant list of smart plans, and then you can see how well these smart plans do. So you can see, hey, this smart plan has an open rate of 76%. See how many texts I've sent, how many client leads it's applied to, how many are paused on, how many leads it's finished. So you got a lot of information here. But let's go ahead and create a new smart plan, because this is, again, one of the main primary features of a CRM that really makes it so powerful. So first off, starting up, we got our standard smart plan. You're going to do this most of the time. It's just a basic smart plan, and we'll talk about what that looks like. But if you want to do something that's reoccurring, like on New Year's, Christmas, Valentine's Day, a specific date that you choose, because you can customize whatever you want. Birthday, a close date, so like they close on their house, or a custom field, you can select one of these. But most of your smart plans are going to be a standard plan. So we'll click start. Now, in my opinion, this is much more easier to use. Now, there's a lot going on here. If you've never looked at this before, it might be a little bit confusing. It's going to look a little intimidating when you first look at it, but it's really, really simple, and it's really easy to use once you get the hang of it. And it can be really powerful for automating massive chunks of your business. You can automate so much. It's absolutely insane. First up, we want to name our plan and then determine if it's for a team or for us, probably a solo agent watching this. It's probably going to be for you. And then you select who do you want it for. So you have to pick someone. You can pick everyone. It doesn't matter. Just pick someone. Now you need to decide, do you want the smart plan to automatically apply, or do you want to manually apply it to leads? I automate probably every single smart plan. I rarely manually add one. So we can go ahead and choose, how do we want this smart plan to be added? Do we want the smart plan to apply when a lead are newly created, when the lead behaves in a certain way? So like they maybe like leave a message on your website, view a listing 3 times, return to the website after 30 days, request a showing. You can do whatever you want. Or do you just want it to apply to any leads that meet a specific condition? So let's just click this. Most of your follow-up campaigns are going to be whenever a lead meets a specific condition. And then you can choose what pipeline do you want it to apply to, if you want to apply to a certain pipeline, maybe a certain group, certain lead sources, certain tags. Maybe if they have, no property alert, maybe if they have a single family home property alert or a multifamily property alert, maybe their time frame. You have a million options on how you want this campaign to be applied to any particular lead to follow up with them. When were they last touched, not contacted at all, last time they were emailed. Really, you honestly have a million different options when it comes to how you want these smart plans to start. And maybe they have a certain score. It doesn't really matter. Let's just say I want all my Calendly leads to be followed up, and only leads that are, ready to buy in the next 1 to 3 months. And you know what? They're not working with an agent. Right, so I'll go ahead and save that. We have our conditions. You can have an auto apply. Now we have auto pause options. If the lead responds, we want the smart plan to pause. Yes or no? And if so, you want a certain action to happen, like move to a new pipeline, add to a new group, add a tag. You can do that or not. An outbound call is logged as talked. You can change that. If the lead's pipeline status changes, maybe you want it to pause the smart plan. So when I have leads move down the pipeline, I usually pause the smart plan because I don't want that smart plan to keep following up with that lead. You got a lot of different options here. Now we can create our campaign. First off, we'll keep it really simple. You could choose when you want it to go out. It can go out immediately, but within a certain time window. You can have it wait a certain hours. Again, within a certain time window, wait a certain amount of days. The options are really limitless. You can choose auto email, auto text, a manual email, manual text, a phone call, automated postcard, automated letter, Zapier integration. You could change the pipeline, change the group, change the tag. You could start another smart plan. So if you want to start a different smart plan, say this one ends and you want to start a new one, you can do that. You got the buyer property alert. So if you want to add a property alert from here, you can do that. So all my leads that never respond to any inquiries, so like all my Zillow leads, they automatically get a general buyer property alert. So like any leads that are interested in raw land that they're probably never going to buy, I might add a very general property alert for my entire city that I think most people are going to like. Again, this is for very cold leads. You can do a ringless voicemail. You can do checklists. You can do other. You got a lot of different options here. So you can really select whatever you want. Let's just say we have this email here. You got all the options for building a custom email. You can do HTML. You could just do a plain text email. You can do whatever you want. You can CC family members. Of course, you have all your templates, so you can add any sort of template you want if you pre-make them, or you can just custom write an email right in here. And then of course you have all the different variables, so you can like autofill their name, autofill like their property address or their inquiry price. So one thing I like to do, if they like inquire on a property and it's set to a certain price, I might ask like, hey, are you pre-approved for $400,000, or are you looking for something in like a higher price range? So you have a lot of options, and then you can just add again more smart plans and keep going down the list. Now, lastly, before we move on, I do want to make a note that there is conditional questions. So if you want to take this to another more advanced level, and KVcore doesn't offer this, unfortunately, they have conditional questions. So what that means is if we pull up conditional questions right here, you're going to notice that it's going to ask a question. If the lead is a first-time home buyer, if yes, then yes, send out an automated text or an automated email. If the lead is not a first-time home buyer, we can send out either a different email, or we could do something else, maybe send a letter. We can do whatever we want. Now, Chime has a ton of questions built in, has a property alert, has a mailing address, has already closed on a house, has favorited a listing. You can do whatever you want. So let's just say they already favorited a listing, right? We can send them an auto email asking, hey, I see you're interested in 123 Main Street. Was wondering if you wanted to see it. If they haven't favorited a listing, maybe we want to send a different email, or send a different text saying, hey, just checking in, wondering if there's any properties that you have seen that you might want to check out this weekend. So you can really dive really deep in how you want the CRM to follow up with people, and you can keep it as simple or as complex as you want. Again, both are a little bit complicated, a little bit more complicated than the really basic minimalist CRMs, but you have a lot of options here. All right, now we're checking out listing management inside the Chime CRM. Listing management it's a few things. So you can review all your listings here. So if you want to look at all the listings that are available on the market, you can create a custom list. You can see what's available. And if you want to, you can just text a bunch of leads or email a bunch of leads. So if you want to, you can just filter out these leads however you want. Again, you have a ton of filter options, and you can just bulk text or bulk email all these leads inside of Chime really quickly and easily, just like, hey, this house just came on the market. Why don't you check it out? Now, for your own listings, Chime has this really cool listing tool. Sadly, all my listings have sold, so I can't show you in depth what's going on. I have like 6 pending houses right now, and none of them are listings. But Chime has this really cool listing management software that I want to show you. The listing journey here. So if you would like, you can do all sorts of things. You can create a promotional ad. So if you were to click on that, you can do an auto promotion ad. So what that will do is it will take a lead through it will take a house that you're selling through an entire life cycle, through the entire selling process. Now you can do an auto promotion, or you can do a basic promotion where you design your own. It does start at $200 a month, and then you choose whatever listing you want. And then if you want to, you can increase the budget if you would like. And basically what that looks like is something like this on the back end. You have it automatically creates ads for you and generates a ton of leads. So you can see I spent just under $200 here. I got almost 5,000 impressions. I got 178 clicks. I have 20 engaged leads for my average lead cost, which is about $9.90. And it's going to automatically create all these different ads for you. Now it's going to use a carousel ads. Chime's pretty good at staying up to date as to what is best practice. If you have any open houses, it's going to create open house ads for you automatically. If it's just sitting on the market, it'll create just sitting on the market ads for you. If there's a price change, it'll create price drop ads for you. When you just sell it, it's going to start hunting for seller leads saying, hey, look, planning to sell your Fernando home. Your neighbors are shocked by what their home just sold for. Now, of course, you can go in and edit all these ads. This is just what Chime automatically does by default. And then, of course, you can see all your engaged leads right here. So I had 16 leads that viewed this property, and then 11 that are high interest. And of course, you can see more right here. You can also create just sold flyers, which is kind of cool. If you like doing stuff like that, you can make a social media post, and you can connect multiple social media account. You can connect like your Facebook, your Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, things like that. You can type whatever you want up. You could schedule it then for whatever day and time you want to go out. So if you're pending, I like to go ahead and create a bunch of social media posts and then just schedule them out ahead of time as soon as we're pending, because I'm not going to think about it later. So I like to do that right away. You can create a transaction. Honestly, you have a ton of stuff you can do. You create open house forms, you can create text code forms, and then of course you could see all your listing activity, all your engaged leads, all your showing requests, all your activity for your listing, which is kind of a cool tool just to kind of see your listing, how you're marketing it, and all that stuff. And of course, you can take a screenshot of this and send it to your sellers and show them what it looks like. This is a brand new feature inside of Chime, so I don't have a lot of data on it right now, but so far I think it's a pretty cool system. So that's listing management inside of Chime. Let's go to KVcore. Again, now KVcore has a very basic listing system, not a ton going on here. So when it comes to managing listings, you could see your company's listings, you could see the MLS listings, you can see your personal listings. And if you were to click on a listing, this is kind of just all the information on it. You can see any lead activity on that listing. You can see who the listing agent is, some basic information. You can send this to a bunch of different leads if you like. You got your gallery, you got your map, you got any similar properties, nearby listings. It's actually a pretty cool feature here. You can kind of see everything about this house. You can see the listing history. You can see when open houses are. A lot of great information here. It's very similar to Chime, although I do think I like Chime's a little bit more. They both are very different and they do a lot of different things. KVcore, of course, has a boost property. So if you want to, you can boost the property. It's very similar to Chime's multi-stage life cycle ads. So they got the listing ad, the open house ad, the price reduction ad, the sold ad. So not quite as many things as it goes through, but I mean, who cares? As long as you're getting leads from it, doesn't really matter. It does start a lot cheaper. So you can promote your listing for just $60. You can do an extended promotion for $150, or you can do the full life cycle for $250, and it'll start generating ads for you. Now, they don't do the carousel ads. It's just a basic photo and just some basic text. That's totally fine. I do think the carousel ads do work a little bit better. I think my clients like them more, but it's just a great way to get some more leads. Nothing too fancy. All right, now let's talk about these two powerhouse CRMs and how their marketing systems work. Both of them do a lot of marketing stuff. Obviously, we've already talked about the smart plans and the smart automation and things like that. KVcore's, it's a bit scattered. Chime's also a bit scattered, but we'll just kind of go through all the marketing stuff that they have going on here. First up, you got marketing tools. These are a lot of these are add-ons, so things you have to buy. Not all of them, but some of them are. Of course, you got basic things like your smart campaigns that we've already talked about. We have automated search or property alerts, so it's going to send out automated property alerts. Of course, you got a bulk email if you would like. You have a presentation software, some CMA builders, and you got the core voicemail drop. A lot of these are paid add-ons, so like the voicemail drop, if you were to go for that, it's an extra $20 minimum every single month, and that's for 150 voicemails. Chime uses a third party called Slide Broadcast, and you only pay for what you use for. But under marketing, you got quite a few different options. You have behavioral automation, things like that, and of course then you have core print. So if you want to do any print marketing, you can. It does take you to a different website, which is basically just a printing website where you can connect your listings, just order like postcards, brochures, car magnets, business cards, things like that. It's basically just your average print website. Honestly, nothing too fancy. That's kind of the marketing aspect. However, there is kind of like the lead engine aspect to it. So if you would like, you can create landing pages, squeeze pages. You have call and text capture. You have your pitch sheet. You have your core property boost. We kind of talked about all that already. Virtual open house, which is just kind of like a live stream. I know COVID's kind of over. We aren't really doing that anymore. You could get more leads. So here's the thing with KVcore, and Chime does this too, is if you like, you can pay KVcore to get you pay-per-click leads from Google. You could do Facebook AI advertising and retargeting. You could do the multi-channel, which is just it's Facebook, Instagram, and Google all in one. You could do farming. You got a lot of different options here. And again, these are all paid options. Prices vary from a couple $100 to several $1,000s, depending on what you want to do. Again, they're nothing crazy fancy. They're just basic Facebook ads and Google pay-per-click ads. Now let's jump into the Chime campaigns or marketing dashboard. Now they call it campaigns, not to get confused with smart plans. We kind of already talked about smart plans, but this is kind of their marketing section. So this is where you do all your marketing. Of course, you can do any sort of lead gen you want. If you want to do buyer lead gen, you can. Seller lead gen, you can. You can do direct mail. You have your listing suite. You have your CMA tools. You got your open house forms, your text codes, and we'll kind of go through all of that. First off, if you're going to do your smart plans, you can access them right here. Chime has an AI assistant if you want to use that. Starts at like $40 a month. It monitors lead behavior. We've kind of talked about that already. They do have options, more expensive options. Really, honestly, the starter package is going to be perfect for almost anyone. And then, of course, you got property alerts. Now, the way property alerts, we've already talked about that a little bit on the lead profile page. If you want to, you can set up automated property alerts. So when a new lead is created, like say it comes in from Zillow or your website, Chime will automatically create a property alert based off that inquiry that the lead inquired on. It will create similar property alerts that will send out to that lead automatically. So for me, it's the same as the inquired city, within the same price range roughly, right, that they inquired on. And then it's going to go out every Tuesday and Friday morning. And of course, you can change this however you want. If you want to buy leads, you can. I used to purchase a lot of leads from Chime, just testing them out. I do a lot of Zillow stuff still, and I do a lot of YouTube lead generation. Honestly, YouTube lead generation has been fantastic. I don't pay for anything. I just make YouTube videos about my city. You should really talk to Malcolm. I'll leave a link down below. He has a really great YouTube course that I highly recommend. That's super awesome for generating YouTube leads, but I digress. Anyways, if you just want to try buying some quick leads, you can definitely do that. You can usually expect a 1 to 2% conversion rate on these leads. You can see I'm paying an average of $8.40. You can see how the lead's been performing. You can see how the ad's been performing and all that stuff like that. Of course, you got direct mail. So unlike KVcore, which is going to take you to a print website, Chime works a little bit differently. It has postcards and mailers built into it. So you can create a campaign right here, ready to go. You can create a postcard, you can create a letter. The customization is pretty in depth. You have a lot of really great options. You can do like that automated thing where it will send them like a custom code. If you text this code, it'll give them like their homes. It'll give them like a custom like CMA report on their home. And each postcard has its own unique code. So if they type in a different code, it'll give them a custom CMA based off that mailing address. It's really cool how they do that. But if you want to send out campaigns like you're just sold, you're just listed, I do this to my sphere. Of course, the smart plans, they have a campaign integration. So I have my home anniversary postcard that goes out every single home anniversary. That's just an automated postcard that goes out every single client's home anniversary. And then of course, if you want like any sort of like reoccurring smart plans or direct mail, you can. They got like their farming. So if you want them to like farm an area for you, they can. Otherwise, that's just kind of the direct mail in a nutshell. Of course, you got that listing promotion tool we talked about a little bit earlier. So if you want to promote any listings, this is just the ad section of it. So if you want to see any ads for any listings that you've got going on, of course, I got this ad still running. I actually already sold this house. It's kind of glitched out. I'm not sure why, but you see I was getting engaged leads for $5.04, which is pretty good. And then I have the AI follow up with them automatically. Chime has a pretty cool CMA tool. It's not the most amazing thing in the world. I also use Cloud CMA just because I think Cloud CMA is a little bit better. They are different, although I'll probably switch to this once they fix a couple bugs that they have going on. But if we just look at one of these CMAs real quick, it just takes them to your website, and all this is customizable. You can go through all this. It's just basic CMA stuff. You got the interactive thing, you can look at all these listings. It's going to show you different listings. You can compare all of them side by side. It's a pretty nice CMA software. If you don't have it, it does cost an extra $20. A lot of this stuff, a lot of these tools in Chime are free. This one does cost $20 a month, which I think is a bit silly. I want to see some more tools and features before they charge more for it. It is cheaper than like Cloud CMA, although I think you get Cloud CMA if you're with some brokerages. I know when I was at Remax, I got Cloud CMA for free, and then when I'm at Real Broker, I think they give it to me for free. I just for paying for it for some reason, and I need to check why. But some cool features about CMA feature inside of Chime is it has this potential buyer funnel. So you can see the active buyers in our database. You can see total active buyers looking around in this price range of this house, and then it says total buyers looking in this zip code, and then we have 5 buyers in this price range within your neighborhood that might be interested, and of course it's going to send them some teaser information on what those buyers are looking for. We kind of have like our marketing action timeline, and a lot of this is customizable. It's not the most customizable thing in the world. I want it to be a little bit more, but it's a pretty slick CMA software, especially if you don't have anything at all. I do highly recommend it. Of course, then we have some really cool tools. We have a design center, so of course you can use Canva for free, and then this is kind of like Canva. It's just built into your CRM, and it works really cool because you can create like a brand kit, so you can have like all your branding in here. So it's going to automatically populate a lot of these designs, especially if you're creating like a listing. If you were to pull up a listing here, you can import your listing and it'll autofill like all the photos and all the information, stuff like that. A pretty cool feature. You can look at your designs, anything like that. Of course, you got landing pages, what CRM doesn't have landing pages, so if you want to make custom landing pages, you can. I'm not going to dive too deep into that. You have the social studio. This is a brand new feature inside of Chime. So you can connect all your social media accounts to it, and then you can create a post. So you can create a listing page, you can create a landing page, you can create a custom post page. There is a blog feature. If you have blogs, you can create like a blog post. But if I were to create a listing post, and we kind of already did this already, I can select whatever listing I want and then hit post, and I can create any sort of listing post that I want. If I want to, I can create and of course I can schedule it. You can see it on the social medias. Again, you can connect multiple social media accounts. I just have my Facebook and my Instagram connected right now. You can pick when you want these posts to go out, and then it looks like there's this new auto post listing status change. Oh, so it looks like you can automatically trigger a new post to all connected social media platforms when the listing status change of these selected listings below. That's really cool. I didn't know they did that. That must be brand spanking new. Okay, cool. This is a brand new feature I didn't even know. That's one thing I love about Chime is they're always adding brand new features. I'm not going to post this right now. I don't really want to, but it's a great place to manage all your social media and post a bunch of stuff. Of course, this is a brand new tool. I haven't played with it that much. I actually haven't played with it at all, obviously, because you could see all your posts right here. You could see post details, post status, posted time, any action on those posts, stuff like that. Let's take a look at the open house forms. So Chime has a really cool open house form. If you click on it, you just bring your laptop out, and then it creates this beautiful open house form, and all this information is customizable, and people can fill out their information. A great way to automatically send them like thanks for coming emails and text messages and follow up with them later down the road. Really, really slick, of course. And then you have text codes, so you can create text codes if you want to do sign writers or anything like that. Now let's talk about Chime's website. So when it comes to comparing these websites between these two CRMs, they're both different. So Chime has its own CMS tools, what they call it. You can build your website however you want. They're pretty slick websites. So if I were to pull it up, mine's Sold by Tommy. You're welcome to check it out if you like. Please just do me a favor and do not register or create an account on my website. You can look at all this stuff for free. Totally cool, but you got your basic search bar. You can edit all this, do whatever you want. I just did a client testimony video. You can set this up however you want. Of course, you have all your custom pages, but let's just go ahead and just type in a city and do a basic search. Of course, Chime has a pretty nice listing search tool. It's pretty modern, pretty in par with Zillow, anything like that. You can change this however you want. Of course, you can make it look more like Zillow if you want and put this on the other side. I'm just trying something different. Let's go ahead and click on one of these listings though. This is totally, you could change this however you want and do whatever you want. I like this. If you have a virtual tour, like a 3D tour, it'll go right here by default. So you got like Matterport or something. All of this is interchangeable. You could do whatever you want when it comes to the stuff. Of course, you got like affordability calculators. You got like different neighborhoods. So if I were to pull up like a different neighborhood, it's going to do all these cool, it's going to have all these cool neighborhood insights and information. Of course, if you want to unlock some market trends, you got to register if you want to do that. I don't do a lot of forced registration, but a lot of people do. The average housing details, demographic information. There's a lot of great information on these websites, and they rank pretty well. I actually get leads through these neighborhood profiles, because people are always looking at these through Google search, or finding them on Google search and reaching out to me. Of course, then you got like your home evaluation page. You can create custom pages. So let's go to the editing tool. Of course, you can customize and edit all of this however you want. You have pages, so you can select whichever page you want to customize. You can. So if we were to go to like, let's say how to buy a house, you can create this custom page and edit it however you want. So I have like an affordability calculator. This is a scheduling block through Calendly. You can't see it. You can see it on the website, but you can't see it here. You can add custom listings. You have a lot of great features. So you have these blocks, and there are a ton of content inside of these blocks. So if you want like contact information, you can have that. If you want calls to action, you can pick whatever block you want. It's pretty easy. If you want like forums, if you want to do like contact me forums, if you want to do like for sale guides, if you want to do like videos or like live tours or market trends or market data or whatever you want, you just click this, drag it, drop it in here. And then of course you can just edit this however you want. So let's just say I grab this calculator. I can edit this calculator however I want. It has a ton of information. Of course, you can't edit it completely. It's not a WordPress site where you can just edit things like crazy. You can do basically whatever you want. It is pretty basic on what you can do. There is more advanced options if you know what you're doing. Of course, there's widgets. You can filter out the listing, so you can organize your listings however you want. You can do blogs and basically anything you want. You can do chatbots. You can do just normal chat. Do the AI. It's all here. It's all built in. Pretty solid website. Honestly, probably my favorite real estate website I've seen. I've looked at a lot of different CRM websites, and this one's easily my favorite. Now let's take a look at the KVcore website. Obviously, it's gonna look a little bit different. It's built more off the WordPress template. I mean, I think both of them are built off of WordPress. Chime just has a different way of editing it. So the site, it's pretty basic. I'm going to be honest, I'm very disappointed in the KVcore website. If we just take a look, it is very basic. You have very limited search options. It feels like a website that was made in freaking 2009, because it probably was. It just feels like a kind of a clunky website. Of course, you have all this stuff right here. You can look at listings like normal. You got a normal listing map. This is what it is. You know, nothing crazy fancy. You have search filters. You can click on any property you want, except that didn't work because it took me to something else. Not that I wanted that. So view details, view property details. Here's your property page. It's all right. It's not my favorite. I think Chime's looks a lot better. But here's your basic property info, Google Street Map, suggested similar listings. And of course, you can edit some of this. You can't edit it as much, but you can edit it. Now, if you want to edit it more, you can buy a WordPress plugin. It does cost money. I feel like with KVcore, basically, if you want to do anything other than just the basic standard package, I feel like you got to pay an arm and a leg to upgrade it. So if you want to pay, you can buy a WordPress plugin. Otherwise, you can just do some basic site editing. So you click on the site editor and you can kind of edit it live as you build it. Whereas Chime, again, it kind of has that more like, here are the blocks, kind of add, edit, click and edit. This one, I'm not going to lie, it's a little bit confusing and I don't really like it that much. Of course, we can add our blog posts. We can add site content. We can do some SEO stuff. We got our blogs. If you want to do any embeds, you can embed the property however you want. You got your widgets. If you want to create a landing page, of course you can. You don't have a ton of option when it comes to creating landing pages, but you do have some options. Of course, you have squeeze pages, which are similar to landing pages. Honestly, there's really no difference. I don't know why they put them in two different categories. They did. But you can do multi-property, single property, seller squeeze, market report. You have different options for that. And that's basically it. Honestly, there's not that much to show with the KVcore website. It's pretty basic and it's kind of a disappointment, if I'm being honest. Of course, if you want to upgrade and edit more, you're going to have to pay extra to do that. And that is going to cost you about $66 every single month. Of course, and even then, if you want, you could pay even more money to add a vanity domain, market-specific website. If you want to get some semi-customable templates, so if you want to add some more templates, a fully customized website, again, you got to pay for those. These are not one-time purchases. You do have to pay for these. You got the local logic. So, like, remember that like those neighborhood searches I was talking about in Chime? Those like neighborhood profiles that were like, just here's all the demographic data, here's the listings, here's some stuff about the neighborhood. You got that in KVcore, but you got to pay for it. It's going to cost you, I don't know how much it make you go through a process. You got to click out a bunch of things before you figure out how much it costs. And yeah, it's going to be another $15 a month. And it's a 6-month commitment. Chime, there's no commitment to anything. It's just pay for what you use. If you pay at all, there are some things you got to pay for. But a lot of the stuff in KVcore costs extra. Like you got to pay extra for it, which kind of annoys me. KVcore is a very expensive CRM unless you get it for free for your brokerage. It's an expensive CRM, and to be forced to have to pay for all these upgrades and add-ons, it's kind of irritating to me. Chime is very expensive too. Don't get me wrong. It is a very expensive CRM. Holy cow. But it's worth every penny, and you really get your money's worth in it. All right, that about wraps up this video. Real quick, down below, there are 2 affiliate links for both these CRMs. They do help me out, but they do give you a huge discount if you were to sign up for KVcore or Chime. I'm going to be honest, Chime's my favorite CRM. I absolutely love Chime. It's an expensive CRM. I was paying $500 a month for it. I'm actually only paying $25 a month for it now because Real Broker, the new brokerage I've joined, they're freaking awesome, by the way. $12,000 cap, no monthly fees, and they give you Chime CRM for $25 a month. It was a no-brainer joining that brokerage. But even if I wasn't with that brokerage, I would easily pay $500 a month for Chime. I think it's that good. KVcore is good. It is different. It's not for everyone. And Chime is not for everyone. KVcore might be a better option for you. I'm going to be honest. KVcore pays a much bigger affiliate bonus. So I should be pushing KVcore because honestly, they pay me so much more to sign people up with KVcore. But I feel like Chime is just so much better. It just offers so much more, especially if you can get it for $25 a month. I know you can get it for free when you join EXP. But the EXP splits, I mean, they're expensive. It's expensive to work at EXP. It's like $85 a month. You got your annual fee, and then you have like a $18,000 or $16,000 cap. I'd rather pay Real Broker no monthly fees, $12,000 cap, get free stock, and get Chime for $25 a month. It's just me personally, but enough about that. Real quick, if you guys would like to talk to me about Chime or Real Broker or KVcore, or just have any real estate questions at all, you can always leave a comment down below, or you can schedule a 30-minute call with me. I'm happy to talk you through, answer any questions you might have about either buying one of these systems, one of these CRMs, or even joining me at Real Broker. I'm happy to do that for you. In the meantime, my name's Tommy Mutchler, your lazy agent. Please feel free to subscribe and share this video with someone that might find it helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.